Okay, today we are talking about goals. Well, it's goals that give us some direction to move to, isn't it? It's goals that give us purpose and hope and a reason to crawl out of our shells in the morning. But, we don't want to talk about our own goals so much today. That's too simple. Here at Wild Art Fly Free, our goal is to build a fantasy world out of stories. No, we don't need to talk too much about that, but instead we are going to talk about Peet's goals. So for those who are new here, Peet is a character in some of our stories. He is a dwarf wizard who dresses like a Christmas tree. Peet works with a young woman halfling named Yixee and a young man human named Eldin. And today we are going to talk about what sort of goals that Peet will be most focused on. So let's do that.
So, hello and welcome. We are Wild Art Fly Free and we are all about creativity. This is our project where we are building a fantasy world out of stories. So okay. Building a fantasy world is a seriously big job. And, because we always start in chaos, we are never sure where we are going, and we definitely don't know how we might get there. But, that is the point, isn't it? We are dedicated to finding a place that no mind has ever been before, so if we have no idea how to get there, then at least we know that we are going in the right direction. So then. That's our plan. We fill our world with chaos and then we use the chaos as the building blocks for our world. At the same time, we are learning about making YouTube videos and even how to build a YouTube community. Okay, well, thank you for your interest, and if you think you might enjoy building stories into a fantasy world, please feel free to contribute.
So we are Wild Art Fly Free, and we are all about creativity. And our definition for creativity is the path out of chaos toward perfection, understanding that perfection is fragile, temporary, impossible, and prone to explode. And there's more to that, but we'll go talk about it as we go along. Today we are talking about our goals, right? What is this perfection that we should be headed toward, that this path should lead us to out of chaos? What is this perfect goal that we want? And, well, what, sorry. What we want are good stories because we are making a world out of stories. So that's our goal. What is the goal for Peet, our dwarf wizard who dresses like a Christmas tree and travels around with his apprentice Yixee and the young alchemist Eldin? But what are Peet's goals? So we talked about how Peet is now traveling west and he's looking to find a seed, or at least learn about the seed, a mythical seed from the mythical trees called the Helolenia galad. and he's heard that the seed is in a castle or a ruined castle or castle ruins. He's not sure. The stories have come from a long way away for Peet. So now we want to think about specifically what are Peet's goals, what are the most important things to Peet, and which goals will make the best stories for us. So one goal will be Peet will want to be a good teacher for his apprentice Yixee and a good boss for Eldin. We'll make that one goal. Peet sees himself as a wizard, and he sees wizards as the bosses over other people. So he wants to be known as a good wizard. So he wants to be a good boss to Yixee and Eldin. Okay, another possibility of a goal for Peet, and possibly his most important goal. He wants to find the truth about the seed of the mythical Helolenia galad trees, if that's what it is. Peet would like to find the seed in case it is an important magical uh, device or anything valuable about it, but it's more important to Peet that he finds the truth. So he wants to find the truth, and that may be his most important goal right now. Stories are floated out of the West for perhaps hundreds of years about the seed. It is the source of great and strange magic, and it is hidden deep underneath the ruins of a castle, and there are other stories. If you have any interesting stories that might be about a mythical magical seed, please leave them below in the comments. Okay, Peet had an argument with another wizard, a female halfling wizard named Fastbrook, and Peet is desperate to prove his theories about the seed and about magic in the West. And so he's had this argument with Fastbrook, and he really wants to prove Fastbrook wrong. So is this the goal that is driving Peet along? Another related goal would be that Peet wants to be a known and respected wizard. So he wants to build a reputation and perhaps a brand. This is not just about this is not just about behaving in ways that a wizard should behave. It is about how people know Peet, what they think of Peet. It is both marketing and branding. So Peet, is his most important goal to find the seed? Is his most important goal to be a respected wizard? Or is it to be a mentor and teacher? Or is it, for our story, to put his arch rival Fastbrook? Is Peet's main goal to put Fastbrook in her place? Or would Peet possibly, his main goal be to make amends with the people of Swanford for the harm that he caused them in scaring them away from their homes so that he could get a book? Peet's reward for scaring away the residents of Swanford, or helping scare away the residents of Swanford, was the Goawdout that he got from the Halican cult that hired him. The Halican cult wanted to empty out Swanford because it matched with one of their prophecies, and it is part of the cult's job to make sure that the prophecies that they send out to the world come true. It gives them a lot of credibility in the cult world. Anyway, another goal that Peet might have would be to learn to use the lunar calendar book, the Goawdout, that Peet gained as a reward for his scaring away the residents of Swanford from their homes. So it is a lunar calendar for the 7 moons that create most of the magic in our world of Otsapuduk, and it can predict important lunar events, but it tends to be a bit of a puzzle to use it. So Peet might really want to learn how to use the Goawdout. Perhaps that will be his main goal, and all the rest of this are distractions. Would that make a good story, or does it make any sense at all?
Hello and welcome. Today we are talking about goals. So okay. I will start by saying that there's goals. And then there's goals. Way back in time, when I went to our teacher's school, we learned that the word goal was a general idea. A goal is not a map or a set of directions. A goal is like a light on the horizon that we should work toward. Goals use language like becoming better at a skill, or moving towards some values and ideals. An important tool that we use to work toward our goal are objectives. An objective is a very precise and measurable task that we want to achieve. We define an objective to be measurable so that we will know just when and how much we have achieved. Now, many people are talking about SMART goals. The letters SMART stand for different ideas for the goal. The letter M stands for measurable, and it is the important bit. Well, these SMART goals are what we have always called objectives. Well, SMART goal is just a different word, it's 2 words for what we have always called objectives. Okay. I admit it. Our word, objective, has 3 syllables, while their phrase, SMART goal, only has 2 syllables. Anyway, if you have heard of SMART goals, well, SMART goals are better named as objectives. There's other reasons, but I'm not going to get into that now. So anyway. A goal is a star on our horizon. It should never be so bright that it would blind us. We use objectives to move us in measurable steps toward our goal. By using objectives, we shouldn't become blinded by the light that is our goal. We can focus on the incremental and measurable bits. Also, we don't need to aim directly for the star. We just need to go in the star's general direction. We can work on other stuff along the way. We can even play as we go. Play is the best way to learn about new places. Isn't it? So woo anyway. Thank you.
Okay, then. We have been talking about goals, and we have been talking about the wizard, Peet. Our friend, Thug, that is. The talking head guy, was just suggesting some goals that Peet might have. Well, now it's our job to find the best goal for Peet's story. And, since we are brainstorming, we really want as many ideas as we can get. So now, do you have any ideas about what Peet might think is most important to him? Also, please be aware that we have some more videos about this. Check them out. You can find some links below, in the description. Also, we do love having you along, so could you do the like and subscribe thing for us? Thank you so much, and have an awesome day.